Later, I am engaged in biodiesel production for to save our environment, activities, environmental conservation, matters of entrepreneurship, and engaging the youth in different places. And here I was. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the principal secretary then, he calls me and he says that we have noted what you are doing locally and internationally, and I just won also an international award. So the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, apparently, the PS then, he called me and said, hey, Isaac, we want you to fill in this form. We are the ones who are supporting you in this process. We have appreciated, and I was doing quite a lot in marketing Kenya on environmental matters. I used to carry trees, Kenyan trees, and get authority from KEFIS to go and plant them, just to talk about the need for conserving environment and why the world need to turn to us so that we can do what we could do as part of Green Africa Foundation.
So you'd fly out of Kenya with
yes, with
indigenous
seedlings, indigenous seedlings, and it is quite a process. I think I'm crazy, but
who does that? I mean, when you're going abroad, who thinks about
my babies on board and different places, and I'm just, to that level that I love environment, because I mean it, and I would want it part of what I should ever be remembered for. And I was not looking at any award, no, not at all. And it's so amazing that when you're doing good things, people are seeing you, and it's not even, you shouldn't do it for people, but also for God Almighty, because He sees, and therefore that award came in. That was the Moran of the Order of the Burning Spear. And I was called and awarded that out of a recommendation from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. On we go. A couple of years later, I find myself in the leadership of Motorcycle Assemblers Association of Kenya, impacting hundreds of thousands of motorcycle riders in the border sector with a vision, because I see these people as a job. I know that there are mistakes that are there. There is disorder, and this we can deal with. But every individual, and being chair of Honda in Kenya, every motorcycle I make, I am so curious to make sure that it is made together with my tremendous team at Honda Kenya, trying to make bikes and ensuring that every other bike maker, whether you are from China or wherever, I give you respect, because you are creating a job opportunity. So I pushed that agenda in a manner that was so deep, and I know that there are challenges that we must deal with as we continue with this, and I kept pushing it. Then, because of writing, my journalism thing that came up later, writing as a comment in the newspapers, I was awarded for this and matters of climate change. Right. So I was given the chief of the Order
CBS.
of the Burning Spear.
All right, we'll pick up from there. We still have more that we want to explore about your profile, but we now want also to play another brief documentary about why this day is special. So stay with us, and remember, you can also continue just telling us who you celebrate on social media. Who is your Mashujaa? Safina_Ching at KBC Channel 1. But first, here is the documentary. Nchi yangu, jukumu langu, mimi ni shujaa. That is the theme of this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations. What a wonderful piece there, just putting together all the people that we celebrate in our country today, playing different roles in different capacities to make Kenya better for each and every one of us. And I know that even as you're watching this broadcast, there is that one person that you're celebrating today. We are inviting you to drop a name and appreciate and help us. We help you appreciate that person as we celebrate Mashujaa Day today. On Twitter, Otieno Wycliffe, you say happy Mashujaa Day to you. Thank you so much. And all Kenyans, my Shujaa remains to be my uncle Charles Onyango from Siaya. I choose to celebrate this guy today. And Odima S.E. Patrick, you say, Safin, you are also a Shujaa, and everybody in this particular country, happy Mashujaa Day. And M. Luango O, you say, I celebrate late Jane Kiano, retired judges, Effie Owor and Joyce Aloch for women's voice and space. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And of course, Dennis Otieno, who is celebrating today, his auntie, Philista Ajima and Christine Otiende. And he's also celebrating the mom, Jane Otiende, and the late grandmother, Rhoda Otiende. Thank you so much. You can do this throughout the day right here on KBC Channel 1. We will be sharing who you're celebrating today with the rest of our viewers. I will be going to Facebook in a bit. But right now, what you see on your screens are pictures that are coming to us live and direct from Kisii County, the land of Matoke. All doors are open. That is according to the Governor, James Ongwae. All doors are open for Kenyans to go to Kisii and celebrate today with them as we mark this year's Mashujaa Day celebrations. Of course, you may not get a chance to sit inside the Gusii Stadium, but they have done all they can to ensure that the residents and the visitors can follow the live proceedings on big TVs that have been mounted. What you can see there are some of the residents that are part of the list of about 3,000 to 4,000 guests that were invited. This is just a different and unique kind of a celebration that we have not witnessed before, courtesy of the COVID-19 pandemic that has seen us adopt a new normal. So the number is a bit restricted, but either way we must celebrate because we have so much that we celebrate as a country today. We will be going back to Kisii County just to get a glimpse of what is happening and even allow you follow live right here on KBC Channel 1 when the official event will start at around 10 to 11, 10:30 to 11. This is when, the official event will start. But in studio, as we gear up to that, we are having a conversation with a Mashujaa just to inspire hope to Kenyans this morning. Why we need to celebrate. And I didn't ask you this, Daktari, when we were starting, because first of all, I wanted to celebrate you as a hero. Who do you celebrate today?
I celebrate my parents, Bishop Kalua and Mama Deborah Kalua. They brought me up. And you see, first of all, I think what we need to do is to define what is about all this day and who is a hero. And I take it up from the man who created the Superman and acted as the first Superman, is Christopher Reeves. He said a hero is an ordinary individual who goes beyond all odds and fights on to achieve something extraordinary, paraphrasing what he thinks. And going by that, I celebrate my parents because they live on today. They molded me. They brought me to where I am. But it even goes deeper to other Kenyans and individuals that today I can celebrate in a very profound way. Our parliamentarians. You know something, Serene, is that many people do not know. Working in a government office is not easy. And despite the wrongs that are said to be done, we have good people in the parliament, in the public sector, and it is not easy in these offices to avoid corruption and all that is surrounding this. Can you imagine for one day if the government didn't work? Can you imagine if the police officers didn't do what they are supposed to do? Of course, there are few corrupt practices and individuals in there, but there are a majority of unsung heroes who make us go to different places, pay government taxes, be able to do many things. Those are my heroes and my individuals who are out there doing the best, like you, Serene, and many others who are doing ordinary things in their own activities that make a difference. Can you imagine the border sector? They are my heroes. They are 900,000 people. Each of them supports 6 people in a family. They are transporting not less than 19 or 20 million people daily in the road. Mm-hmm. And despite all that, they are feeding 5.6 million Kenyans. Mm-hmm. These are my heroes. These are people that we must celebrate. The heart of going beyond an extra mile to fight out to make a better country. And just like what you have just shown on TV right now, Serene, we have individuals that we must celebrate today. Mm-hmm. You are one, and all your viewers are. They are making a world of their own, in their own special way, in their homes. And I can't,
The list
and
can
none
go
of
on
them
and
can get every award that we are getting. But that's why I say, when I have this award, when I'm honored, I put it on with a lot of pride, because I know it's not for me. It's for those unsung heroes, those people who are watching us today and going to do what is good for the country, for their families, and the nation at large. Yes.
And you know what, Daktari, today there will be quite a number of names that will be added to that list of heroes at this particular event at the Gusii Stadium. One of the sessions will be dedicated specially to just celebrate the heroes that we have today. So new names will be added to that list, and right here on KBC Channel 1, that is where you can catch the live broadcast. And of course, just talking about the spirit of Mashujaa Day, the Heroes Day. Initially, it was previously known as Kenyatta Day, a day that was set to commemorate the detention of the so-called Kapenguria Six. I'm talking about Achieng' Oneko, Bildad Kagia, Fred Kubai, Jomo Kenyatta, Kungu Karumba, and Paul Ngei. And then when we had the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution, what happened was what I would describe as giving this day a deeper meaning, just not to restrict it from within the six, but to give it a deeper meaning, to expand it, to celebrate all those who are playing a role to make this country better. That is when it was renamed Mashujaa Day. But if you look at the spirit of unity, the spirit of patriotism that was there back then, that togetherness to fight for one cause, to fight for a better Kenya. People really were selfless at this. If you look at that kind of culture and passion and compare it to what we have today, how do you describe? Is it different? Is it the same? Is it worse or good?
You summed
Where
it
do you
up.
sit?
You summed it up very well, Achieng', in a very special way, by saying working together. The spirit of our forefathers, just like we have seen on TV now in a very well-presented program, they wanted a unified country, a country that everyone is feeling proud to be in their nation, a country that is prosperous, a country that there is no tribalism, a country that looks forward to change what it means in one single person's life. And this can only be brought forward by encompassing all that they put together then, and us having a common goal as a leadership, as citizenry, with the numbers that we have today of about close to 50 million people. You can imagine very soon we will be 100 million in a few years' time. So what is this that will bring together the unity of our nation? And I'll give you an example of the U.S. State Secretary, George Marshall. When, after the Second World War, there was a big problem in Europe, and he came up with what was called the Marshall Plan. And 15 billion US dollars was put together to reconstruct Europe and to do so many things out there. And therefore, the so-called Marshall Plan. Kenya, we have one. In the Vision 2030, we need to encompass our activities into this mission, to make sure that it is implemented step by step. Everyone has a right to live very well in this country. Everyone has got to succeed in their own country. If you can't do it in your own country, where would you succeed in, Achieng'? It is therefore our responsibility to work towards a common goal, to look at the Constitution, which says very clearly that we need to put together everything and succeed under the Constitution, and look forward to putting together our efforts toward this. And during election period, we remove everybody who does not work and pull us towards the mission of and the spirit of the Constitution. And in between the voting period and the next period, we need to use the judiciary to make sure that the spirit of the Constitution is well placed. This is the only way that we can change our nation. Because you can imagine, why would you rely on a politician to succeed? Why would you rely? We just need a situation that is well created, that my son, that my daughters, that your children will be able to do what they can be able to do, use their brains at their best and succeed without having all this. This is the spirit, as we have just seen, of the forefathers fathers of this nation, which we must be able to support each other. Everyone taking their responsibility, being answerable to the Constitution of Kenya, being answerable to the Vision 2030 that we have worked on, having political parties in our country that have a mission, not just a wave of moving in a direction that is just going to keep people happy for the moment and then lack what is supposed to be for posterity. This is what I suggest that we need to do as a nation.
Unfortunately, what you're describing is still the Kenya that we want. I wish we could be having this conversation and having a Kenya that we have always wanted. If you look at what is happening in the society today, what would you say are some of the issues or behaviors or cultures that have taken us back? Because as we speak today, there's still a long way for us to go before we can achieve what you're describing. What is it that you think is ailing this country?
You see, we think that someone is going to come from out there and solve our issues. It is everyone to be inspired to do what is right. When I got awards as a Mashujaa in this country, I never worked for them. I was just doing my work. I was just doing what I think is right for my heart. Every single day, I wake up and think of how I can treat the other person kindly, how I can work towards good health, peace within communities, and creating sustainable livelihoods. I work to ensure that we have a sustainable environment and development. As chair of, and this is what I want you to see, and every Kenyan and our viewers to understand, there's nobody who's going to help you. It is you to wake up when it is time to plant, because the rain season is coming. Don't sit at home. Wake up, go and plant whatever you have to do. You have a government that has provided professional service. What can I plant? If you are from a region that is not expected to have too much rain, plant what can be harvested within that period. Change your own life. The rest is going to do that. Nobody's going to do that for you.
No, Mheshimiwa,
no. We waste time following directions that are not going to change. And blaming each other. We are waking up, serikali saidia, or we wake up, we want to see who is going to help us, or we are dead, and you have God above who has a good plan for you, plan for good, not for evil. What else do you want? You just need to wake up, Achieng. You need to do your script. Read it like you believe in it. Not just waking up and reading what has been placed on the table. You're supposed even to go back to your editor and say, this I think is not right, because it is your job. It is in your heart. Therefore, everybody's responsibility. Look at what I do in my own little way. With the chairmanship of Honda making motorcycles, and with the chairmanship of Motorcycle Assemblers Association, and with whatever else that I do in automobile inspection, I make sure that first I do what is right above all, and to my God. This is first.
Regardless of who is watching.
Regardless of who is watching, because I don't care. I must do what is right before my God, whether you think I'm doing right or not, because the spirit of intimidation is what chases people from becoming heroes and doing the extra mile, Achieng. And we must be able to, so once you're convinced that you're doing what is good before God and therefore to humanity, the rest will follow. I make a motorbike that I know, and I pray for those motorbikes as they are being made from Honda factory, and I make sure that they are made to the best standard, because security and safety starts at the manufacturing, so that every rider of boda boda who holds a motorbike is going to be safe, at least not because the bike was badly made. And as chair of Motorcycle Assemblers, I inspire the same spirit, so that everyone is taking responsibility to do what is good before these people. Because, can you imagine, we have 900,000 Kenyans who are riding motorcycles today. If they were wrongly done, what would that happen? In the same space, I'm trying now, and together with the Motorcycle Assemblers, to create these components, because a motorcycle has more than 300 parts that are all imported from overseas. Why wouldn't we make this locally? We have started with 7 parts. We still have people who are saying it should not be done. Kenya is not ready. Ready for what? You are creating jobs. You are making an opportunity for your own children. We are not going to be here forever. We need to buy Kenya, build Kenya. And it starts from everybody doing their own activity. The clothes we are putting on, why wouldn't we make them locally? We have Ryan Industries here. We have EPZs that are doing quite a lot. Why not create a policy that can turn around this entire sector and bring out production of farmers of cotton in Kenya?
We have the
industries,
we have the resources.
Yes, we do.
We have the capability.
Kenya Association of Manufacturers coming up with ideas every day. Some of them which are shot down, some of them which never see the light of the day, just for the sake of every Kenyan. And we are looking at taxes as opposed to look at taxes and also the social profit of our country. There are things that we must do as a nation that carry the spirit of our forefathers, that carry the actual spirit of every individual. Why should we be having solutions that are foreign made when one policy, not giving people items to use or to do, one policy is going to change the entire nation?
Dr. You remind me of something. You know, we draw lessons during this pandemic, and one of the biggest lessons we have learned as a country, and I believe the entire globe, is the fact that it gets to a time when each country is on their own. Look at what we've been able to achieve within the few months that we have been dealing with this pandemic, the solutions that have come, the money that has been allocated, the effort, and everybody coming on board and saying, I can do this, I can produce this. Just teaching us that we actually can, provide the solutions to some of the problems we have.
You know, I sat and I'm part of the team that of Kenya Association of Manufacturers that has been putting together the initial works on COVID and seeing how movement of business can be, and we were all there. And at one time when we were met from Kenya Association of Manufacturers, large manufacturers came in, and one would say, I am able to produce 300,000 masks in a day. Another one would say that I can produce 1 million in 2 days. And one young girl appeared there, and she said, I can only do 150 in a day, and this would make me work so hard. Do you know, I cried. Because that's the spirit we need. You can imagine there are people, Kenyans just need an opportunity. Equal level ground. The government is supposed just to give equal opportunities and guarantee opportunities. The success lies on the individual.
And your effort.
Because what you put in is what comes out. And therefore, as you say, it's all driven by us, and we can get a lot done.
Dr. Corruption, crime, how do we deal with these issues, the social ills that act sort of like a thorn? We are trying to develop, but there are still things that drag us behind. Look at the political animosity, things that have happened. Just the other day, 2 people lost their lives, young lives that had hopes and dreams for the future. We've witnessed such differences before in our country. This is not the first time. How do we get rid of these social ills?
I have written on this a number of times. You may be asking the wrong person, because on the issue of corruption, I believe we can deal with it. But again, Achieng, we need to start from our own individual position. Look at Kenya Power and Lighting, an institution that is supposed to give you power, and you're not supposed to pay officials and do all these things to make sure that things are done. Why are you paying on the side when an officer asks you to pay some 40,000, 20,000 because of what is yours? Why? We are the ones who are making it happen. The officers on the roads, the police officers, they will come and say they want something from you. Why should you? Tell them that you're praying for them and you leave them alone, because we are encouraging a situation where we are messing up, and it is good. And that is why I celebrate government officers. Not every government officer is corrupt. The few who are should be punished, up to the 3rd or 4th generation, that people know because of corruption this person was dealt with, starting from the top. So that if something is not good for Kenyans, it should not be allowed. And I am sure the president is working towards this. There may be so many hardcores and stoppages on the way, but that is what will make him a hero. That will be the greatest legacy that he will bring home. Because what is heroism? It is not about your own self. It is about the value, the impact that you have created in any single individual who comes to your life. Not about what you have achieved, money you have made, awards that you have won. No, it is about the individuals. Why are we allowing ourselves to be corrupt? It takes two to tango. You cannot say that we have a corrupt nation when you yourself, you're paying corrupt practices. You're encouraging this.
As you continue, there's this argument that, you know, Kenyans are helpless. You're pushed to a corner to just give something so that your situation is dealt with. Maybe you've gone to an office to look for a job and somebody asks you for something and you really need this job. You're pushed to a corner and you just do it. You've committed a traffic offense. You just do it. You're helpless. There's that argument that you do it because you're helpless. Is it valid? Is it realistic?
Helplessness is a state of mind. It is one to prove that you can be able, if you want to get something from a particular institution and you feel that you do qualify, you are presenting yourself and you're finding there is an issue, you have the judiciary to raise any issue. You can take a document to Parliament, an appeal, and say that this is happening to me as an individual. I'll never forget the times of Pamela Nzilu Munyasia, who would work and fight for someone who is in Kakamega because he was fired because of malpractices, because of people. Today, government officers are even going out, senior government officers, assigning officers to go to different places so that they can get a per diem. And I hear you're given a total number of, say, 300,000. Once you do that, then you can go, and I give you an outing to go out and get out there. Why wouldn't you say no? If this is set today, tomorrow it will be set on somebody else. Report. Government has created systems and telephone numbers for emergencies that you can go out and say, I have been cheated. Someone is asking me for a bribe. How many people go out there? In the fear of intimidation, I do not want to go ati nitafutwa kazi. Utafutwa na Mungu atakupatia kazi nyingine. It takes one person to change a nation. And the nation is changed from between me and you. Why would we be subject to politics? To the level that we are. Politics are supposed to be the icing of a cake of a national order, where your heart connects with mine. You're carrying what I feel is right. You represent yourself in a honorable manner to the point that I believe in you as a leader. But look at today. I pay so that you go to a rally, you hit people, kill a few so that there can be a crisis, or create a national crisis here and there so that you can refocus in a different way, or even at the grassroots level. That is crap that must be removed from this country. And it will not be done by somebody else. It is you and me. We can only, when the president finds himself in such a situation that people are now using judiciary and people are doing what is right, it connects with him and he will act in the manner that we can be acting. So these are things that we can take and we can do and support the president's spirit of wanting to clear the corruption and malpractices. The tool is there to answer your question.
We have the tool already.
Election. After the election, between the time that you elect and remove leaders who are not right and who are not carrying what you believe it is supposed to be owned by a child, between that, use the judicial system to ensure constitution is implemented to its best way. That is, we should not be surviving because of individuals who are seated in some places or deep state and all this. No. We should have a system in this country that helps us. And that system is not going to be done by the president. Who is the government? Government is me and you. We have systems that connect to...
Yes, not mwananchi.
Yes. And that is the first line of the Constitution, just as you put it.
Yeah, mwananchi. Yes. But do we know that? Are we even empowered to to own and possess that power as a citizenry to really call out these leaders who are taking us in the wrong direction and just sort of bring order and sanity into this country? Do we know how much power we possess as the citizenry? That's a question I'll leave to you. Later on, I'll be, just engaging Daktari on what it takes to go back to the true spirit of patriotism. But that is what we are celebrating today. And, as the country focuses on Kisii County, what you can see on your screens there are just part of the dignitaries who are attending this particular celebration. That is none other than the Orange Democratic Party leader, Raila Odinga, who has just made his way to the Gusii Stadium. And of course, we are expecting President Uhuru Kenyatta and other dignitaries also to be arriving any minute from now. It's a few minutes past 10 o'clock, and this is actually just a few minutes before the official opening of that particular function. And it has been organized with, adherence to the COVID-19 protocols. Seating arrangement can tell you how strict the organizers were to ensure safety of all those who are attending. And of course, wearing of face masks, and of course, washing of hands, sanitizing, some of the issues that had to be adhered to. Security arrangements were well put in place. That's according to the Interior PS Karanja Kibicho yesterday, talked about how they have put in place quite a number of efforts to ensure the security of all those who will be attending today. But all have been invited, young and old, and of course the youth, security men, leaders, the residents, every person who is, celebrates the spirit of heroism is invited to this particular function. It may not just be, physically attending, but of course through the big screens that have been mounted in different locations at the Kisii town, and of course also those who will be following the proceedings on television. Right now, we just want to go back to our conversation. But before I do that, Doreen, Katiba Achia, happy Mashujaa Day. You're celebrating Marehemu Ojwang, made our days. That's Mzee Ojwang. May his soul rest in peace. Indeed, he used to be a great man. Happy Mashujaa Day. That is from Josh Ann. I'm following one-on-one from Ahero Dala. This is in Kisumu County. Thank you so much. Winnie Spata, not my Mashujaa, it's my Shujaa Winnie, are my dad and mom. They sacrificed a lot for me. Happy Mashujaa Day. My Shujaa is my grandmom, Jane Obiero. She sacrificed a lot for us. That is Von Wicks Jaka Frog. And of course, Rosa Isha, happy Mashujaa Day. Sarah Nyakano, happy Mashujaa Day. Caesar, you say you are my Shujaa and great childhood friend. I celebrate you. Thank you so much for checking in, Caesar. Titus, happy Mashujaa Day. Enjoy the celebrations. Livingstone Alushula, thank you so much for watching. Happy Mashujaa Day. You're following as well. Thank you so much. Now, Daktari, I just want us to understand, how do we now change the narrative? We've talked about the ills, we've talked about the Kenya that was and the Kenya that we desired, and we understand the realistic status of our country today. How do we change the narrative? What will it take for us to really grasp the true spirit of patriotism, so that we are not separated as individuals, as tribes, as communities, as what we see today, but then go back to that spirit of unity?
One thing that I believe that is going to change the narrative of our nation is the spirit of entrepreneurship. By mere fact of being born in Kenya, we have gone through quite a lot. Look at how Kenyans have persevered even during the COVID period. We are hardworking people. We have the world looking at us, not only Kenya, but as a region. The secret in us succeeding first, I believe, is in integrating all activities of the EAC as a bigger market, creating a bigger market. Two, working towards having a country that is full of the entrepreneurship spirit. Enable Kenyans to put money and food on their table. They will go in the right direction. I talk about this on environmental matters every day. Tell a Kenyan to conserve environment, you'll be left alone. But show them how to make money. They will all fit in that direction. That's the way Kenyans are wired. So why waste time? Use that as a bait. that brings us together. We want to place table on the money. We want to place food on the table. We need to start thinking of how we can gather activities, how we can change what we do into money, how we can change what we do into livelihoods, how people, because we are a country that while we are enjoying and sitting here and getting a glass of water, which I have not gotten yet, and make sure that we can make life continue better. But at home, we still have people, Kenyans, who are going for 5 kilometers for water. People who do not have cooking energy. Yet we are a country that can be able to bring in biogas, can be able to bring in gas and be used at a much cheaper way than even the smoke that is killing our own people. Change all these activities so that they can be able to place food on the table. Mm-hmm. Once you have that spirit, the Juakali activities, the direction that can be able to take this country in a better direction, people will start gravitating around issues. Unfortunately, for many years, we have been wired and we disintegrate into our normal status of the tribalism and all that. We will now then, and I don't think we may be able to achieve this within this period, but we need to start working on it towards a longer phase, because very soon people may disintegrate to where they came from and the tribes, because that is deep in us. But we can start building this step by step to be able to take us to the next step of people gravitating around issues as opposed to our tribes.
Okay.
This is what we need to do, and I think there is a good direction. It's only that we are not seeing. Those who are supposed to see are not seeing. Those who are playing their roles, they imagine they are not doing so much, and you think you are despised or you are not being recognized. I think that is we need to imagine ourselves as a nation.
All right.
From the individual and every teacher, every leader in the society, taking a direction that will inspire other people.
I like what you've said when you talked about, you may imagine that you're not doing much, but you're actually doing something, inspiring all those who could be doing something in their small corner of the world to change this country. Thank you so much, Daktari, for creating time for us this Mashujaa Day. We celebrate you still as a Shujaa. And thank you for all of you who took time to drop a name on social media and celebrate the people that have made their lives different. You can continue doing this because we are covering this live for you throughout the day. What we want to do right now is to take you to Kisii County. We have a team there that has been there for us. Achola Simon, Suleiman Yeri and Edward Kabasa will be giving you the blow-and-blow action on what is happening in Kisii County. But later on, of course, we are also going to be doing this in Swahili. Timothy Kipnusu with the legendary Badi Muksin will be coming to just continue with this conversation in Swahili. So this is the place. Keep it KBC Channel 1 and keep us company on social media. The hashtag is Mashujaa Day 2020. Of course, right now we want to hear more about what is happening in Kisii County just minutes before the official opening of this particular celebrations. And to give us a glimpse of that is none other than Edward Kabasa. Very good morning, Kabasa. What is happening right now at the Gusii Stadium?
Good morning to you. You are watching this year's Mashujaa Day live from the Gusii Stadium in Kisii County. It is a momentous occasion. The people of Kisii have been waiting for this. The Madaraka Day was supposed to be celebrated here, but due to COVID-19, it was celebrated. It was marked at State House, but the government did promise Kisii County that they were going to be hosting the Mashujaa Day, which is today being hosted. This is the first of such occasions taking place after the government relaxed the COVID-19 rules and regulations. The government has put in place adequate measures to ensure that social distancing, one of the protocols issued by the Ministry of Health, is adhered to. Only 3,000 guests have been invited to attend this particular event, which will be led by the Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, who is expected to arrive here any moment from now. Guests started trickling in at around 6 a.m. and it was a rigorous process. And as you saw, Suleiman Yeri a little bit earlier describing how it was inside the stadium. The guests are seated, and the spacing of the seats is in keeping with the health guidelines which have been issued by the Ministry of Health. Kisii County is one of those bread baskets of the country. The county is also known for its soapstone, which is being mined just a couple of kilometers from the Gusii Stadium. It is also important to note that this region is one of those areas that has been known for producing some of the greatest athletes that the country has ever come across. One of them is Helen Obiri, who continues to decimate the world of athletics, making Kenya proud in the process. Among the dignitaries that have already taken their seats include the ODM leader, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. Both speakers of the bicameral parliament are here. Senate Speaker Kenneth Makelo Lusaka and the National Assembly Speaker Justin Muturi, as well as other MPs and senators have already made their way here. Kisii County borders Migori County. It also borders Nyamira County. It also borders Homa Bay County, just a couple of kilometers behind me. And this occasion here brings together people drawn from all these counties, considering the short distance that one has to travel. A lot of development have been put in place to ensure that the free movement or the free flow of traffic to Kisii County is as efficient as it can be. Today is going to be used to celebrate a number of Kenyans who have made Kenya proud in different sectors, and I am joined by one. His name is Reverend Ernest Eshamwata. Thank you very much. You are one of those who are being honored today. Could you explain to us why?
First of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity, because it's a rare opportunity, and as you have clearly said, we want to thank our government because it has chosen to honor people who serve in various sectors. And as for me, I am a pastor, as many people know that. So basically, I preach peace, I preach unity, and I also involve in many other programs in the community. So I want to thank God for this opportunity and encourage all Kenyans that wherever you are, or in whatever capacity that you are, just put in your best, do your best, preach peace, preach love, preach unity, and involve in other activities that will enhance our economy. So I really want to appreciate for this particular day. Yes.
One of the things that have come out, I know that the president will give a speech, but one of the things that Kenyans have been saying, that we ought to look ahead. We ought to look at a country that is going to be prosperous for all of us. Job opportunities, Kenyans living, in secure environments. Our children have food to eat, water in enough supply. From where you stand, from the religious circles, what are we looking at 20 years to come? 10 years to come, or even 100 years?
Yeah, we are looking at a country that is going to be prosperous, and even more prosperous. That is, if we all commit our efforts towards doing good, towards serving the community, towards serving one another. And as we serve God and strive to put in our best, then I'm looking at a country that will be a much more better place than where we are in, despite of these issues of COVID and others. I know as a man of God that we can overcome such things. We can overcome all the challenges if only we trust in God, and again put in efforts and work towards achieving our goals. So I want to encourage each and everyone, let us take this opportunity just to do good to one another, to preach peace, to work hard in whatever situation that we are. And as we trust in God, I can say without fear of contradiction that surely we shall overcome. We shall overcome. God is on our side. So we are very happy to be here in Kisii. This is a wonderful place. We really appreciate. On behalf of the many Mashujaas who are going to be honored today, I believe they are equally happy, just as I am.
And I know that Kenya is a religious country, and one of the things that perhaps this country, prides itself in, bringing up a morally upright society, because it is one of those things that even the church leaders like yourself, you have always told the young ones to ensure that they live according to what God or the Almighty being wants them to. To our leaders, I know you've spoken about leaders uniting us. What are we going to be seeing from the church? Because the church has been at the center of all this over the last couple of weeks. What message are you going to be putting there to our leaders, considering that in the next couple of months, Kenyans will be going to the polls?
My message is very simple to my fellow preachers and all Kenyans, that let all of us preach peace, and let us do everything that we are doing in peace and transparency. And as we work like that, even as a church, we are able to achieve much. So let everyone, whether you are a Christian, a Muslim, or all the religions, just to make sure that you are putting in your best. And let the minimum best that you can put in be the best that you have. That means don't do anything that is below below power, below what you expect other person to do. So I want to part by saying that do to others what you'd love them to do to you. So if you see something will hurt a brother or a sister somewhere, just avoid it. Let us leave it and work for the best of our country.
Right. I know we cannot preempt what the president is going to say, but as Kenyans, we always have those expectations, the things that we want the president to address. What do you think are some of these things or these areas that the president is going to speak to this afternoon?
That's quite a tough question, but I want to believe there are common areas like, say, development that we need to work on, put in more effort so that we can now pick up from where the COVID-19 had drawn back the country, So it requires, in fact, each and every one of us to sacrifice an extra mile. I want to believe we may touch on such areas. And of course, many other areas like areas of unity and peace. We need peace in the whole world so that we can move on. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. That was Reverend Ernest Eshomwata, one of those who are being featured today, one of those who are being celebrated today for their exemplary performance in terms of nation building. It is important to mention that among those who are being celebrated are teachers, athletes are here, as well as business men and women who have done everything possible to ensure that that small contribution that they do make to nation building is being seen. Earlier, I did speak to one of the teachers who is going to be awarded today, the principal, Riokindo Secondary School, who has exceptionally done well, improving the performance of that school, making it one of the biggest academic giants in the region. He has also led to an increase in the number of administration or admission in Riokindo Secondary School from below 1,000 to over 1,980. He will be awarded for his performance today. So I am handing you back to the program here. The president is expected any time from now. The military has already taken their place, and I understand that I'll be taking you back to studio, and later on Safina Chingo Uma will be handing back matters to us here. Okay, I understand that Kipnuso Timothy is the one in studio, and we are going to be ensuring that you get the live coverage from Kisii County. And it is also important to mention that those who are unable to come to the Stadium. They have been allocated some areas to follow the proceedings here, and there are also some screens, 10 screens, which have been erected in different parts of Kisii town to ensure that all the residents of Kisii County residing within the town area are able to follow this particular occasion, which will be led by President Uhuru Kenyatta, who will be arriving here anytime from now. My name is Edward Kabasa. I hand you back to the broadcasting house where Timothy Kipnusu is standing by.
Kontu Edward Kabasa, bila shaka ni mwanahabari wetu ambaye anakujia moja kwa moja katika uga wa Gusii katika gatuzi la Kisii kwenye sherehe za Mashujaa, siku muhimu zaidi katika kalenda ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Na kama alivyodokeza, tunatarajia wakati wote kutoka sasa kiongozi wa taifa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta aweze kufika katika sherehe hizo na kuweza kuongoza sherehe hizo, ambapo tunaadhimisha miaka 57 tangu Kenya kujipatia uhuru. Siku muhimu zaidi, mtazamaji, na karibu sana kwa moyo mkunjufu. Ulikuwa pamoja naye Safina Cheng. Sasa tumejitosa katika lugha mufti ya Kiswahili, na nitakuwa nawe kuanzia sasa hadi wakisha kwamba sherehe hizi unazipokea kwa njia iliyo mwafaka kabisa. Niko na mwanahabari mwenye haiba na vile vile mwanahabari sifika zaidi, ambaye bila shaka ni Badi Mkusin, kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba unapata jinsi hali ilivyo. Kama nilivyodokeza, wanahabari wetu wamekita kambi kuhakikisha kwamba unaweza kupokea taarifa hizi siku hii muhimu zaidi katika kalenda ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Badi Mkusin, siku hii unaiona kivipi? Matarajio yako ni ipi, na pengine shujaa wako ni nani?
Kwanza kabisa, wacha nimshukuru Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kwa sababu tangu ashike hatamu za uongozi, sherehe zote za kitaifa zimapelekwa mashinani. Sio kama zamani ilikuwa Nyayo, Kasarani na Uhuru Park. Tangu Rais Uhuru Kenyatta ashike hatamu, amezipeleka sherehe hizi mashinani, jambo ambalo wananchi wengi wanajivunia. Hawajawahi kuona sherehe kama hizi zikifanyika katika maeneo yao, na ni kumbukumbu muhimu kwa wote. Na kama alivyosisitiza Rais Uhuru Kenyatta, ni kwamba tuwatambue mashujaa sio tu katika fani ya siasa peke yake, tuangalie katika fani zote ambazo tunaona watu wametekeleza jukumu muhimu katika ujenzi wa taifa. Kuhusu shujaa wangu kwa sasa, hebu
tutakuwa tuelezea na arifiwa kwa sasa. Mtazamaji, kama unaweza tazama kwenye kiombo chako, tayari waziri wa usalama wa ndani Dr. Fred Matiang'i ameweza kuwasili katika sherehe hizo. Hapo awali kiongozi wa chama cha ODM Raila Odinga vile vile alikuwa ameshawasili kuhakikisha kwamba vile vile anasherehekea siku hii muhimu katika kalenda ya Jamhuri ya Kenya. Na siku hii, mtazamaji, ni sherehe ya kwanza tangu chamuko la gonjwa la corona kuitikisa taifa hili mwezi Machi tarehe 12 mwaka huu. Na unafahamu fika kwamba wanahakikisha kwamba tunapambana na jinamizi hili au chamko hili la corona, na ni kwamba watu ambao wameweza kufika katika sherehe hizo ni watu 4,000 tu, ili kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba umbali wa mtu mmoja hadi mwingine unaweza kuzingatiwa ili kuweza kupambana na janga hili la corona. Na kwa sasa, mtazamaji, hapo awali ulikuwa unapata ufasaha wa sherehe hizi, akiwa mwanahabari mwenza Safina Chenga akiweza kumuhoji mmoja wa wale ambao wanatambulika kama shujaa, anafahamika kama Isaac Kalua, ambaye bila shaka ni mwenyekiti wa wakfu wa Green Africa. Pengine kwa muktasari tu au kiduchu tu, umuhimu wa sherehe hizi za mashujaa.
Naamini kwamba hii ni siku ambayo ni ya kusherekea Wakenya wengi ambao wamejitolea mhanga katika sehemu zao tofauti kufanya kile ambacho kinafaa, kinachompa Mungu heshima na nchi kuendelea mbele. Manake ili nchi isonge mbele, wapo wale ambao wanafanya jambo ama mambo tofauti, hata kuandaa chakula, wanaotengeneza mboga ambazo tunakula kila siku, na wewe unajua sio mkulima, yule ni shujaa. Wale ambao ni watumishi wa serikali katika sehemu tofauti, wapo wengi ambao wanajitolea mhanga, wanajitolea kwatu kuhakikisha kwamba kuwa mambo yanafanyika jinsi inavyofaa. Kuna watu wengi tu, hata viongozi wa kisiasa. Hata tukisema kuna viongozi ambao viongozi ni wabaya, hawatakuwa ni wote ndio wabaya. Itakuwa ni wachache tu, na hao dawa ipo ya kuwaondoa kwenye mamlaka ambao wamepewa, kwa sababu wanapaswa kuwepo kama tangulizi ya wale wananchi walioko. Kwa hivyo ni siku ya muhimu sana tangu siku zote, na ukifikiria mwanzo leo kufanyika katika eneo la Kisii ni heshima kubwa sana kwa watu wa eneo hilo, manake unapeleka ushujaa mpaka nyumbani. Likifanyika Kisii, basi na maana sio Nairobi tu. Kwa hivyo hata mimi ninajisikia kweli, kumbe nilikuwa na rais hapa karibu na mambo tofauti yalifanyika. Ni mwelekeo wa nchi ambao unafaa na wale ambao wamejitolea kuhakikisha haya yamefanyika.
Labda Bwana Kalua, kwa vile unahusika zaidi na masuala ya mazingira, hali ya mazingira ya sasa na hali ilivyokuwa tunaposherekea hii Mashujaa Day, ni vipi ambao umeona mmejimarisha ili kuona wananchi na misitu yetu imehifadhika kwa manufaa ya vizazi vya sasa na vile vijavyo?
Linalopasa kujulikana katika maneno ya mazingira ni kuwa uwepo wa mazingira yanayofaa na yanayostahili katika nchi yetu ya Kenya ndio usawa na uhai tulionao wananchi milioni karibu 50 kwa sasa hivi. Mti sio mti tu kwa sababu ya mambo mengine. Kila unapopanda mche ni hewa safi, ni ile hewa ambayo tunaitumia katika miili yetu kila siku. Hali ya mazingira yalipokuweko mbeleni imezoroteka kwa sababu ya mambo tofauti kwa sasa hivi. Wananchi wamekuwa wengi, hali ya matumizi ya sehemu tunayoishi imebadilika, na ni jukumu la kila Mkenya kuanza kufikiria. Manake kama lipo jambo ambalo tutafanya kubadilisha maisha na kuweka chakula kwenye meza zetu, itabidi mazingira yetu yawe sawa. Manake mazingira, misitu yetu ikitunzwa vilivyo na inavyostahili, bila shaka mvua itakuwa ni nyingi, mahali ya mashamba itakuwa bora, tutaweza kuvuna chakula kingi. Manake inategemea na mazingira. Na ukiangalia sehemu ambazo tumekuwa tukipigania kusema misitu yetu itunzwe, kama nilivyokuwa katika wenyekiti kama mwanzilishi mwenyekiti wa Water Towers Agency na pia kama Green Africa Foundation, tulionelea na wengi ambao waliokuwa mawaziri ambao nimewahi kufanya kazi na wao. Ni jambo la muhimu kuweka ua katika misitu yetu ili iweze kuheshimiwa na wananchi wasiweze kuingia ndani ya kule. Kama ulivyouliza ni kipi kimefanyika, na naamini ya kwamba serikali itaweza kutoa hela na wananchi na shirika za kibinafsi wataweza kufanya kazi, manake suluhisho la kuzuia misitu yetu ama vyanzo vya maji ni kuzuia misitu hiyo, kuweka ua ambao wananchi, wanyama na wale wengine wanyama wa pori hawawezi kutangamana na binadamu. Kila mmoja wetu itabidi uamke kupanda mti, uamke kutunza mazingira yalioko kwako, hali ya usafi iwepo kama vile ambavyo serikali wameamua kuwa tangu mwezi uliopita usafi utakuwepo katika kaunti zote 46. Lazima hili jambo lipewe nguvu, manake tukifanya vile lazima tuangalie ile mazingira katika hali ya mapato. Kwa sababu mapato yetu, tukijua mazingira safi, mazingira yanayofaa, yataweza kutuletea maendeleo na chakula na biashara endelevu, itatuwezesha sisi kuendelea kufanya mambo ambayo yatatufaa.
Pengine Bwana Kalua, tunapozungumzia kuhusiana na mikakati ambayo serikali imeweka kuhakikisha kwamba ufanisi wa kuweza kutunza mazingira unaweza kuafikiwa, pengine angazia jitihada ambazo serikali imefanya kwa sasa kuhakikisha kwamba wale ambao wamekuwa kilalama kwamba kidogo wameweza kufurushwa maeneo fulani katika ile harakati ya kutafuta kuhifadhi misitu, masuala kama msitu wa Mau, msitu wa Mlima Elgon na masuala kama hayo, pengine wito wako utakuwa upi kwa serikali wakati huu ambapo tunasubiria vile kiongozi wa taifa kuzungumzia masuala ambayo yanatukumba kama taifa?
Nafikiri cha muhimu zaidi ambacho tungelitia bidii kukipata sio kufanya jambo, ni kueleza mwananchi ni kwa nini unalifanya hilo jambo. Mwananchi akisha kuelewa hayo, inakuwa kazi rahisi mno. Ila ukifurusha watu bila kuwaeleza kwa nini hili linafanyika na kana kwamba manufaa ni yao wenyewe, wananchi watakuwa na uzoefu wa kukataa maendeleo ili hali wanapasa kujua. Kwa hivyo hili ni jambo la kwanza. Jambo la pili, mueleze Mkenya yoyote jinsi ya kutunza na umuhimu wa kutunza mazingira, utabaki peke yako. Lakini jaribu umuonyeshe ni kipi ambazo utaweza kufanya cha kuweza kuleta hela na kufanya biashara, itakuwa tofauti na wananchi wataweza kukusikia. Kwa hivyo hili ni jambo kuu, limefanyika, linaendelea kufanyika, na naamini ya kwamba serikali imejitolea. Lakini serikali ni nani? Serikali ni mimi na wewe. Hivyo basi tunapasa kujitolea mhanga kufanya
Kalua, shukran zaidi. Mtazamaji, kama unavyotizama kwenye kiombo chako, tunatizama Rais Uhuru Kenyatta tayari anawasili kwenye hafla hii ya Mashujaa katika uga wa Gusii, tayari kabisa kuanzisha rasmi sherehe hizi za 57 tangu Kenya kujipatia uhuru badi. Na mnaarifiwa kwamba si Rais Uhuru Kenyatta bali ni naibu wa rais Dr. William Ruto ambaye wasili kwenye sherehe hizi badi.
Labda Bwana Kalua, turudi kwako kabla rais hajawasili uwanja wa Gusii. Nakumbuka kwamba rais marehemu Daniel Arap Moi alianzisha miradi kadhaa ya kuzuia mmomonyoko wa udongo, wa kwanza ukiwa maeneo ya Mwanyani upande kaunti ya Machakos na maeneo mengine mengi. Sijui mpaka sasa shirika lako linafuatilia kwa makini hii miradi ambayo ilianzishwa na wale viongozi waliotangulia?
Badi na kuheshimu sana, wewe kweli ni shujaa. Jambo linalosumbua nchi yetu ya Kenya siku ile leo ni kana kwamba sehemu ama kazi iliyoanzishwa na rais mstaafu Mzee Moi wa kuzuia mmomonyoko wa udongo, kumekuwa na kutoendeleza ile kazi. Shirika ambalo langu la Green Africa bali na kutoa sauti kufanya ni kipi ambacho tunaweza tukafanya. Wakati nilikuwa mwenyekiti wa Kenya Water Towers, tuliweza kusukuma ili tuweze kupata bajeti ya kutengeneza ama kuzuia mmomonyoko wa udongo. Basi sasa imekuwa hakuna yule ambaye anafuatilia, hakuna bajeti iliyoko katika serikali ya kutosha kuendeleza na pia kuwajuza wananchi umuhimu wa kuzuia mmomonyoko wa udongo. Manake Kenya tunapoteza mchanga unaofaa ambao tungelipanda nao, unakwenda kwenye mto na kuzuia zile sehemu za mito, kando ya mito ambazo tungeliweza kufanya. Kwa hivyo hili bila shaka badi, shujaa badi, ni jambo ambalo bila shaka tungelifanya na linapasa kuangaliwa ili tuweze kufanya vile.
Na Kalua, pengine tukitamatisha, neno lako pengine la mwisho na pengine matarajio yako ni yapi kwa kiongozi wa taifa hii leo atakapokuwa anatoa hotuba yake katika sherehe hizi za Mashujaa?
Rais wa Kenya kione ni kipi ambacho kinafaa. Hayupo yeyote ambaye anapasa kuzuia kufanya kazi ambayo inafaa kwa mwananchi wa Kenya. Tunaangalia sasa hivi ni wakati wa kazi. Tusaidie tupunguze siasa huu wakati. Fanya kazi na wale ambao wanapasa kukushika mkono na kusukuma. Wapo wananchi na wa serikali ambao wanaweza kufanya kazi. Tushikane sote. Tafuta nafasi vile ungeliweza kufanya kazi, awepo hata huyo makamu wa rais na wengine. Sisi wananchi tukiona kule kukatika ama kupasuka katikati kwa serikali kinatutia wasiwasi. Serikali ikiwekwa pamoja, mengi yatafaa katika nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Naam, uwanja ni Gusii, anawasili kiongozi wa taifa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta kuanzisha rasmi sherehe za leo za Mashujaa Day. Moja kwa moja hadi kwa mtangazaji wetu aliyoko huko Gusii, na taraji unatupata kwa njia nzuri.